Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said that Pakistan does not want war and instead seeks peace. He warned, however, that Pakistan's desire for peace should not be mistaken for weakness, stressing that the country stands for peace with honour and dignity. Addressing the inauguration of the iconic Victory Monument, he said the enemy should remember its lesson-breaking defeat and warned that anyone challenging Pakistan's sovereignty would receive an even stronger response. Shehbaz said India had demonstrated that it was an enemy of peace by suspending the Indus Waters Treaty. On the other hand, the United States has said that it can maintain a naval blockade of Iran indefinitely and would ratchet up economic pressure on Tehran as ceasefire talks have floundered, global oil supply is dropping, and regional tensions are rising. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told reporters that the US military has the capability to maintain a naval presence in the region to enforce its blockade of Iran, which has inflicted severe economic damage on the country. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the United States planned to inflict more financial damage on Iran. US President Donald Trump has said he will impose tariffs on imports of drones and their components, including from some key US allies, with the Trump administration saying the country was too reliant on foreign sources of drones. The White House said a proclamation signed by Trump imposes a 100% ad valorem tariff on drones of a certain size or with certain capabilities that are particularly sensitive for national security purposes, adding that a tariff of 25% will be imposed on drones that are smaller in size. The US president has also allowed the Navy to build ships overseas and ordered it to abandon a complex system for launching jet fighters from its aircraft carriers and instead return to using steam catapults. Trump signed a national security memorandum directing the change, which would require the fourth vessel in the Gerald R. Ford class of aircraft carriers to abandon the electromagnetic aircraft launch system used on the first three vessels. The design change is expected to cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Ukraine has sent Russia an offer suggesting they both halt attacks on civilian targets in the Black Sea, after mounting strikes on vessels and ports there raised fears over global food supplies. A source said the offer to suspend attacks was transmitted by Kyiv via a third party, and Ukraine was still waiting for a response. A wildfire in Croatia, driven by strong winds, has descended on the tourist town of Omis, engulfing houses, forcing about 1,000 people to evacuate and injuring dozens. Flames enveloped settlements and trees over 1,000 hectares, turning the night sky red above Omis. Of 36 people treated by ambulance services in the city of Split, 14 were hospitalized and 7 had life-threatening injuries. Emergency shelters accommodated about 1,000 people overnight. More than 650,000 refugees and asylum seekers in South Sudan risk losing food aid access within weeks due to a severe funding shortfall, potentially forcing some to return to war-torn Sudan in search of help. The World Food Programme and the UN Refugee Agency said South Sudan faces one of the world's worst hunger crises. More than 7.8 million people, over half the country's population, are experiencing acute food insecurity, while 2.2 million children are acutely malnourished. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has accused the United States of relying on fake intelligence and making strategic miscalculations in its decisions over the war with Iran and the Strait of Hormuz. In a post on X, Araghchi said Washington's actions around the strategic waterway represented an even greater miscalculation, warning that worse than fake news is fake intelligence. Araghchi also accused France of double standards on human rights and international law, criticizing Paris for supporting Israel during the Gaza war while backing what he called aggression against Iran. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.